been waiting a long time for today. Not just because there was a joint practice for the Panthers, although that's fun. Not just because we finally got to see starters go up against someone wearing a different color jersey, although that's fun.
There's something else that mattered?
They played well.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
I mean, was it perfect?
No.
But the Jets are one of the top 10 teams in Super Bowl betting odds.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watched that practice, by all accounts, and I'm talking about, this isn't one beat reporter's like, hey, the Panthers didn't do that bad. I'm talking just about everybody watching. There were plays made on both sides.
Even Jets people were saying
that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
the Jets were hat tipping some Panthers plays. Like the Panthers had a good joint practice today.
Let's go.
They played well.
Let's go.
Now I like no planning parades yet. Like
no.
Let's not get carried away, but take it for what it is. Right? When coaches talk about you have to get a little better each day. When coaches talk about you have to go 1-0 each day, win the day, Panthers did that today. And after, a year of feeling like you were just stringing together losses, right? A year of, like, how do you lose a Wednesday in the middle of the season, but somehow the Panthers were finding ways. There's a refreshing just vibe to what happened today between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. How about this? The defense worked. Defense made plays against Aaron Rodgers. Defense made tackles. Defense forced turnovers. Defense got their hands on the ball against a team that's not the Panthers, which means you can take out the worry of, is our defense playing that well, or is our offense just that bad and they're only going up against each other?
Mm-hmm.
You get to take that away.
2 interceptions against Rodgers today.
2 interceptions against Rodgers, I believe. And you never really know what the situations were. I believe they got their hands on the ball 5 times.
Yeah.
A'Shawn Robinson with a little peanut punch, forcing a fumble. Trayvon Wallace again there to recover it. Like there was real, tangible highlights made by the Panthers today.
And that's something Dave Canales, the moment he was hired, said was going to be a point of emphasis. Getting our hands on the ball defensively, causing turnovers.
Take the victory.
And apparently, if you could sack the quarterback, probably would have got to Rodgers about 4 or 5 times. And that's according to Jets people.
And take that to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Edge rushers getting home to a pocket passer. Again, look at the early part of the Panthers' schedule. It's Derrick Carr, right? It's a whole bunch of guys that if you give them all the time in the world, they can sit back there and pick you apart. I believe they have Justin Herbert early, who is already not the most mobile guy. Now he's dealing with a foot injury. Mm-hmm. He'll pick you apart if you give him time in the pocket, but if you can get home, it can shake things up.
And Clowney, Jadeveon Clowney didn't even participate today.
Even better.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't even need our guy. Now, on the other side, the Jets, Quinnen Williams didn't play.
Sure.
He's their best defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not perfect. I'm not sitting here crowning saying, hey, they look so good, they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I'm saying you have to latch on to what you can build on with the Carolina Panthers. Are there other, like Trayvon Wallace? Let's just call it what it is. He is a 3rd-round pick that was picked over Peyton Wilson that plays a position that Dan Morgan played. This guy has high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Made plays today. It makes me believe he's a bit of a gamer, right? Makes me believe he's a bit of somebody who he's good in practice, but you put somebody else. And this is what I want out of my linebackers. I think this is what Dan Morgan talks about when he talks about dogs. Right? When you put someone else on the field, their game levels up. Terrace Marshall and Jonathan Mingo. We need to figure out what is different for them on game day, but today was reportedly a very good day for each of them, especially Terrace Marshall early. And with a little bit of swag. Dave Canales doesn't like it. I don't like that it started a fight, but he caught an early touchdown and he flipped the ball at the defensive back and it started a whole scuffle, which I don't like the scuffle part of it, but I like that early on a player is trying to say, no, we're the ones with the swag here.
He said, I'm here.
I just made a play. Right? It's J.C. Horn was talking, by the way, like a lot of these media availabilities are just coming out. I was just looking at comments made by J.C. Horn. his observation of Aaron Rodgers, he had two of them. One, Aaron Rodgers is bigger than you think.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of quarterbacks are that way. It's like, really? They're 6'4", 6'5"? The other was he talks a lot of trash.
Yep.
But that's why I like Terrace Marshall Jr. Don't flip the ball maybe, but say something. Like if they're going to talk, you're going to talk. They're not better than you. You're not better than them. You guys are competing. Terrace Marshall Jr. had himself a day. Jonathon Mingo made some plays. And do you know what's the best part of those two guys making plays?
What's that?
I'm not going to get too excited about either of their play because we've seen them have really good camps, go right into the first preseason game and drop gimmies right out the gate.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to make them prove it to me in a game situation before I get too excited about them. But if Terrace Marshall was making plays and if Jonathon Mingo was making plays, it takes two to tango. That means the ball was there from Bryce Young. And Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette didn't do anything today.
No, they stood on the sideline.
Exactly, didn't do anything. But if Jonathon Mingo can make a play, Deontay Johnson can probably make a play. If Terrace Marshall Jr. can make a catch, Xavier Legette can probably run that route. If Bryce is putting it there, that's important for Bryce.
But it's also Bryce had the time.
Bryce
had the time.
Which, that's what I'm worried about with joint practices. Right, and that's why I think it's still important that he plays on Saturday, and we're going to have to get into that because there is still blow-bys. There's run-bys, right? I can't actually get him to the ground, so you do have to start pulling up early, and sometimes if you're a defensive lineman, maybe you would have gotten home or maybe you would have gotten a fingertip on the ball. I want the offensive line to have to protect when you're playing to the ground. But you're right. I mean, he had the time. There were, and this was a big concern of mine early in the preseason, there were throws downfield. There were shots downfield. There were over-the-top shots. There were longer developing plays, which does imply exactly what you said, that Bryce had some time. It's also why I think he needs to play on Saturday to make sure that time was real and not fool's gold time because the defensive line knew they couldn't hit Bryce Young anyway. But see, now I'm doing exactly what I asked you not to do.
What?
Just take the victory.
I am.
No, I'm saying I'm doing what I asked everybody not to do. Now I'm nitpicking and getting into we have plenty of time for that. Right now, it's just the Panthers made some highlights, and it's been a long time since a Panther fan got to watch a game, watch a scrimmage, watch an opponent on the field with the Panthers and have a smile on their face. I really wanted to in the first preseason game. Right, settled in, wanted to watch, and then quickly was like, not going to be a big smile day, is it? Right? A few grimaces of all right, I guess Leota's playing well. But there really wasn't that yes. There were a couple, maybe even a handful, yes, today. There were a few things off the field, some updates on injuries and things that make you go, no. But there were things on the field that made you go, yes. And you have to take that where you can get it because if there's anything Panthers fans knows, if there's anything people that cover the Panthers know, it's that those are not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Terrace Marshall Jr. having a day. Yes. Trayvon Wallace making plays against one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Yes. J.C. Horn, Deshaun Jameson stepping up and making some plays. Yes. Not to mention Bryce Young looking the part. And that's you hear coaches talk about stacking days, right? You do something today, perfect. Now do it again, do it again, do it again. Bryce Young needs to stack days like he had today, which are days where he's running the offense. He's leading. He's allowing his playmakers to make plays, and it doesn't matter who's out there with him. Could have been a real bummer day for Bryce. He could have been out there going, this year I'm supposed to have Deontay Johnson. This year I'm supposed to have Xavier Legette. Now I'm out here with the same guys I had last year. But he didn't do that. He dragged them towards a big day for the offense. Panthers, Jets, joint practice. My first initial reactions are it was a good day.